Welcome to the Smith Sisters Talk Show. I'm Gwen.
And I'm Crystal.
And our guest for today is Susie Labrie. Susie Labrie is a legislative advocate in the capital of Baton Rouge. She is lobbying. She is doing a lot of bills there. She's speaking on behalf of the community to have good bills passed. So how you doing today, Susie? And say hello to our listening audience.
Well, hello, world. This is Susie Labrie, Louisiana Sunshine.
Yes, and
So,
Susie, tell them a little more about your Sunshine and where they can contact you.
okay, well, first of all, I used my personal Facebook page where I maxed on my friends, but you could always follow me on Facebook. Look on Susie Labrie, SUSIELABRY. Also, I have a Louisiana Sunshine Facebook page, too. You just look up Louisiana Sunshine. And that's how you can access me. And if you want to go to my Telegram site, you'll need to text me at 225-235-7879 and give me your name, telephone number, and your email, because that's private by invitation only.
Very good, Susie. Well, this is Crystal talking to you now. Susie, you do
Okay.
so much in the legislative body and in the building there in Baton Rouge. Where are you originally from, Susie?
I'm originally from the South Carolina area in New Orleans.
All right,
Okay.
here for New Orleans. Go ahead.
And where
Oh,
you
yes.
and where you residing now, Susie?
I was raised in the South Carolina section on Spruce Street, and then I came to Baton Rouge at LSU, and I've had interruptions
Yes.
where I had to move back home several times, and I had to move to my parents, and then when I was able to afford it, I went back to Baton Rouge, and I
You're
stayed
back in
with
Baton
you
Rouge
for a
right
while,
now.
and now I'm back in Baton Rouge.
Well,
So,
Susie, as much as you're
in front of the Capitol.
in Baton Rouge, it's at least it's closer. So that's great.
Okay, let's start with our conversation to educate our listening audience. What is a legislator, Susie?
A legislator is one who writes laws. He's a member of an assembly called the legislature, where you have 39 senators and 104 House members, House of Representatives members. And what the legislator's duty is to write the law by sponsoring a bill, and they pass bill and kill bill. So.
Very good. Okay, Susie, and how are these elected officials placed in those seats in the first place?
Well, first of all, a legislator runs every 4 years. And,
Very good.
They run for a 4-year term, and they are term limited at 3 terms, which is 12 years.
Very good. And not
they run
only
for
that,
office in their district. They all have their own districts.
right, in their own districts. So the people in the community or the individuals who vote to put them in, that's why it's very important to vote. Because if you don't, that means that you have no say in what goes on in your individual communities
Or district.
or district, depending on where.
Exactly.
Yes.
And you're saying that it's important for us to keep up with, if we can, the legislation. And it's not that hard, Susie. Is that correct? It's not.
It's not.
And we
And
can.
I'll lead them to make it easy.
I know you are, because we're going to educate a little workshop symposium right now on the process of doing that. So, Chris?
Okay, Susie, as a person who's constantly in Baton Rouge, do you feel that the citizens can contact their elected officials, and how would they do so?
I am finding that in a modern day, as opposed to 50 years ago, it's harder for people to keep in touch with their legislators. As you know, legislators are overwhelmed, and there are many different ways you can contact the legislators. I usually go one way, or I can go 2 ways. First of all, you can visit them in the district or at the Capitol, where you can page them. You can call them on the telephone
That's
at their
correct.
office, and if you have their home phone number, or at the House of Representatives, and leave a message, or you could email them or hard mail them. There are many ways to contact your legislators, or you could catch them on the road like I do at meetings,
does a structure for the legislature exist? Like, how is that formatted, Susie?
You have 39 senators, 104 representatives, and it's a bicameral, meaning it has two houses, which is the Senate, which is the House. The Senate has the Senate President, and the House has the Speaker of the House. And you have chairmen of different committees that in different subject areas, and the Speaker chooses the chairman for the House committees, and the President of the Senate chooses the chairman for the Senate committees. And you can see that all on the legislative website, where it says committees. The legislative website, it's legis.law.gov, legis.la.gov, and you can see the committees, and they all in subject areas, and some of them general too. So, and you can also see the committees. You can see them on the website, and you can see
Okay.
the president, who the president is.
Okay, Susie, to make it kind of personal, we understand that we vote when it's time to vote for these legislators. And once they're in positions, we have a say in what happens. And this is our way by voting, by contacting them to know what our wishes are in reference to certain bills. They usually send out literature about the information,
Correct.
but it's upon us. It's incumbent upon us to contact the person we are paying their salaries to let them know.
Mind them.
Yes, we need to let them know how we think about certain issues after it's something has passed, a legislation law has passed. Prior to that, we have to do our due diligence of letting the legislators know this is what our desires are, not wait until the end of it.
That is correct. Also, Susie, I wanted to let the listening audience know that they can also see different committees on televised via computer. Am I
Right.
correct? So they can see.
Yeah, on the legislative website. Yeah, you can see. You can come in person at the Capitol, or you can see live. All y'all do is tune in www.legis.law.gov, the website I just gave you, and it's right there on the front page, and you can see what committees are on at the moment live, and there's a little TV icon on the right.
That is correct.
That you can see it, and then you have on the left of the little TV, you have the agenda icon.
That is correct. So they're making it very easy for citizens to see what is going on in the Capitol. And I'm so glad that you're there, Susie, because you're there a lot. People don't know how you are fighting and trying to get good legislation passed on behalf of citizens in Louisiana.
And they definitely should give you, I think you should state your information again, Susie, so people can contact you, because some people don't know who to contact. That would be some type of assistance. Could you give
Well,
your...
I'm going to tell you this. This is what I say about contacting and keeping informed. There's several ways you do it, and I have a plan here. You can call your own legislator. You can find out who your legislator is for going into the site or going to the Secretary of State voter portal.
Correct.
There are many ways you can find out who your legislators are. Usually at election time, they'll send you flyers to vote for them, and that's another way to find out who they are. They can inform you, or a lobbyist, or an organization in your cause or interest will inform you, or clubs, political party clubs, that, like Republican Women
Or Democrat, or whatever their political
Like that, or
status
you-
is.
whatever their party is. But they can also, I think, call the legislative office
That is right.
in
Yeah,
general,
the
and they'll
House,
tell them exactly who their senator or who their representative
They
is.
can also answer that. Usually the House of Representatives is 225-342-6945, and the Senate is 225-342-2040. And those, they can give you information as well, and of course your libraries and all that can help.
You're
with
right,
that,
Susie.
too.
It's right at their fingertips, so they don't have an excuse to say that they couldn't contact whoever their representative is.
That is
And I
correct.
was hoping that in the school system civics class teach you that, but I don't know if they teach that anymore.
I don't know if they. I'm not sure. I could check into it, but it's important.
because the voting age, as soon as you get out of high school, when it's time to vote, Susie, I think that everybody, as soon as you get out of high school and it's time to vote, you need to go and register to vote. You agree?
I couldn't register for the November election because I was 17 years old, so I missed my first go-round. I missed the second go-round in December, but I was able to vote in the general election when I just became 18.
Yeah, but I'm talking about these youth of today who are in high schools. These high schoolers, they need to. Yeah, no, but I'm talking about the students right now. They need to be conscious about voting because.
Okay, yes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Everybody from 18 on up to 100.
We need to get active.
Yes. 101. I mean, that's right.
Okay, Susie.
Not the hospital were forbidden to go vote.
Yeah. So look, what I want to ask is, why is it so imperative for people to get involved? People don't understand. Some people say, "Oh, my vote doesn't count. Oh, my legislators, they're wrong." It does count, right?
Because Senator Foyle, Franklin Foyle, is in Baton Rouge. He won by 8 votes.
Wow.
What?
And there are other people. Yeah, 8 votes. He won by 8 votes. And then there are legislators I know that won by 1 vote. And also your party officers, like your Republican Parish Executive Committee, Mary Anderson probably lost by 4 votes, and Arthur lost by maybe 14. So yeah, I mean, 1 vote makes a difference. And even in the national conventions where Jack Kennedy won by 1 vote.
1 vote.
Guess who put Jack Kennedy in there as a Democratic nominee? Louisiana.
All right.
1
We
vote.
know in person.
Yes.
So I hope that everybody get encouraged to vote. We're going to have voting sessions coming up, and not only just in the legislation, but for voting for your senators and
And a mayor's election coming, city council and mayor's running at the same time. I don't know what day it is. I think it's October. I don't know because it's different in each town.
Very
yes,
good.
State legis, you know when that comes up because you're going to be bombarded with advertisements,
we are.
mails, and stuff like that. You know, and emails and
Yes.
everywhere you go, you know there's election going on.
That
know?
is true.
Then you have your presidential after your governor's race, and then you got all different little races. Whether you have dog catcher, chief of police, each parish is different. You got parochial offices, city offices. But we need to
We
keep
do.
election days count that because people are just too busy to keep up with all this, and it just gets overwhelming. And I fought legislation against Landry having an election day every week. You need a bill of those.
Okay. Okay, Susie. So when does the legislative session meet?
Usually in the springtime between March and April, around the Easter season, and I think the next session, and you can check the legislative website, is March something. It usually ends in June. You have 30-day sessions, and you have 60-day sessions. Sometimes you have 90-day sessions. You have a fiscal session every 2 years, and the general session every 2 years. And you also have special sessions that the legislature itself can call into session, or the governor can call into session.
Okay, Susie, how does a House bill become law?
Like say if you have a House bill, your state representative sponsors the bill, and they file a bill, and when they file the bill, the speaker assigns this bill to a specific committee, and you keep up, find out when that committee meets, and when our bills come up. You could call the chairman, the speaker, or you could look at the legislative website the night before, or you could look at the weekly schedules in the legislative website. See it on the home page. You can see what it comes up the next day, and you can see the weekly schedules. You can see the link there. And then you'll know when the bill comes up. If it passes committee, it'll go, sometimes if it's fiscal, it could go to a special committee, and then it could go to the fiscal committee. And, if it has monies involved. And then it passes that, then you got your full floor, how they call it, the full House floor. If it passes that, and then it goes on the other side, the Capitol, which is the Senate, and the president assigns it to the Senate committee, and if it's fiscal, it's the Senate fiscal committee, and then it goes to the full floor of the Senate, and then if it's amended, then the House has to approve the Senate amendments, and if they don't, they can have to concur, and then if they disagree on the amendments and the changes, then they have a conference committee of 3 representatives appointed by the 3 senators and the proponent, the opponent, and whoever the speaker and the president picks side. And whenever that's finished, and then that bill gets approved by both sides, both chambers, or however you call it. And once that happens, it passes the governor. If the governor, he can either sign the bill into law or veto it or let it go naturally into law without not being ignored. On a certain
Okay.
day.
In reference to the bill, what time, when they're drafting and there are any revisions that have to be done, when would that happen?
When will that happen?
The whole process from the very first sponsorship to the very last process that I just explained.
Very good.
Go all the way to the conference committee. Changes in every step of the way, and you get a million changes. And that's why it appeared to be being fickle, like you had a film industry bill with tax credits. We were for and against it every 5 minutes. The same thing happened with the Senate Bill 221 by Senator Hewitt. The last 2 minutes, we flip-flopped about 30 different times, and it was faster than a tornado.
But I want people to understand that they can go to the Capitol, and I want you to explain to people what is the significance of the red card and the green card, right, Susie? Where you can.
And that's another way you communicate with your legislators. You attend committees when they're open. You can come to committee, and you can speak before the committee. You write. First of all, if you have a packet, like say we have a committee next Thursday on the 11th, well. And sometimes your speeches are limited to 3 minutes. You could address the committee, and if you're for a bill, it's a green card. If you're against the bill, it's a red card.
That's right.
And if you're an expert, like a doctor or a professor or a chemist, that knows about the subject, like J.C. Harmon or Randy Russell, professor that knows about the subject, or a doctor or whatever, in their field, they fill out a white card, and now and then if you're with the governor or a department, you fill out a blue card.
I didn't know that.
Form where you're neutral. That blue card is new. Usually it's the governor or department head or something like that. But if you're an expert, it's a white card. You're not taking a stand either side. You're just explaining what it is. What is blue hydrogen, or what is carbon dioxide capture being, or what is COVID, and different things.
That is true.
Explain what it is.
And, Susie, I know that you know a lot of this information that we're asking you, but I want to tell the listening audience right now, if they want to tape this show and hear it repetitively, to comprehend and understand, which is not hard, right, Susie? You just hear it over.
No, and also I want to remind you, if you miss a committee meeting, you can see it live, and if you miss seeing a meeting, like say last
That is true.
meeting, you could go on the website and go into broadcast archives. You got a House broadcast archive.
That is
Senate
correct.
Broadcast archives. You get the date of the committee meeting, and you can see it and watch it over again, or
That is true.
Very good.
you missed it because you had to go to work today and take care of the babies and all that.
So let me
watch it later, which I do.
let me tell you what. Yeah, let me tell you what I do to people who tell me, "Oh, Gwen, I'm not computer literate, et cetera, et cetera." I say, guess what? Call your state representative or your senator. Get the name of the person that you're speaking to, because sometimes the senator or your state rep may say, "Well, who did you talk to?" Always have a little pen or pad on the side to say, "I spoke to Susie Labrie
On this day and time.
on this day and time, and this is what I asked for. I am for or I am against this bill." And I want you to make
Keep it
note.
short and sweet and simple.
You're right.
You can leave a message, and another way to communicate is to wear badges or your T-shirts. You know, like the disability community, we wear our yellow shirts, and it shows that we wear them. So
That is
even
true.
when you're not opening your mouth or moving your hand, you're still speaking non-verbally. Yeah, and you can talk to an aide. I don't always have to talk to a representative or senator. It's just as easy or more convenient for me to talk to an aide, and sometimes the aide might be
More helpful?
more an expert. Yeah, more an expert.
Or
Sometimes
informative.
They had people that help them learn the subject.
Correct.
Mary used to call me, I want to talk to Mary. It's better to talk to her than to Kathy, because Mary would be more like the doctor than the representative, because what they do is they represent you.
That is correct. And we pay
And
them.
experts in their field, in their office. It's sometimes it's best to talk to the aide, because they might not know everything about Social Security or
That is
whatever,
true.
but that aide does.
And I'm going to tell you something that I did. You know what I did? I didn't know the process by which you're speaking of right now. So I called my state representative and I informed her legislative aide to email me videos on how the process worked. And guess what, Susie? She did it. She did it, Susie. And I go over that information when I'm about to address a bill, and I get it done. But I want people to know it's not hard. I know you're saying, you can go on the internet, but we can make this easy for our voices to be heard. And guess what? Our legislators want to know what we're thinking about
They
their
appreciate our information. They want to be fed. Some of them put out surveys.
That is true.
Sometimes, and they do tick every message or communication we send. And all your emails, they say how many emails for, how many against, and these are my constituents. And I don't go with Susie LaBrie. I'm Mary S. Susie LaBrie. That's my domicile name and my domicile address, telephone, and email.
That is right.
Because it shows I'm a constituent of 137D.
That
You're
is
right.
Whatever 111 or whatever my district is. And they pay more attention to their constituents.
They really
Some of
do?
them probably don't. They probably pay more attention to their donors, like we've been here. But that's how it's done. And also, let me remind you about the computer. When we were kids, everybody was required to know how to use the pen, a fountain pen, and a pencil. And then we got older, typewriter. A part of the communication, everybody should be able to operate a computer, and I highly urge people to get there, because it makes life much easier. It makes it easy to communicate. It's changed my life on it, David.
Not only that, Susie.
Computer.
Right. We can go to the library and have one of the library assistants to help us to navigate through the system. So we don't want to make this hard for anybody. We just want to impress upon the voting population that your vote counts,
And your opinion counts.
your opinion counts, your legislators want to know. And when they hear your name enough and they know that you're active in the district that you live, your state representative is not hard to find, or there's different bills that's going to be coming up. And we need to address those as citizens of Louisiana, not only Louisiana, because this show is on the World Wide Web. This is applicable to any district that you live in, right? So,
And I'm very sensitive about this. We need to ban it. Sometimes I don't expect them to write me back. I don't need them. All I need is for them to take my message and say
Correct.
I'm for or against something. But sometimes they don't return calls, and I'm getting a lot of complaints on it. And we're going to remember that on Election Day. Please return your calls and your email.
hey, Susie, repeat that again. We're going to remember that what on Election Day? And what? Say that
I'm
again.
going to remember that on Election Day. If you get a call or an email or message, please return our calls and our emails and our mail.
And Susie's saying, please.
And we're being
We
respectful.
remember that on Election Day. I'm getting way too many complaints about that. Don't think you can sit up in your ivory tower. You get up there and you answer them emails.
That is correct.
Okay, Susie.
Yeah.
In reference to the House bills, when can a bill be carried over to the next session?
The bill, when a bill is filed, the birth of the bill, and when a bill passes or gets killed, either it dies there when it gets killed in committee or killed on the floor or killed on the other committee on the floor. And all bills die if no action's been taken. They die, seen to die. There's no bills that survive. No, it's 100% totally nuked it the last day of session, which is usually in June.
Okay, I'm glad to know.
Okay,
It's usually in June.
Okay, you say the last day of session. So can a person revive a bill in the next session coming in?
There's some of these Kathy Edmondson bills I want to see revived, and they do come back up again, but the numbers change, and the numbers don't stay the same unless it's the budget, like it's 1 or capital outlay 3 or 2 or something like that. Those are the only bills that have the same number. And sometimes the number could be 47, 57. Their numbers change. You can have the exact same bill. You can file it over and over again until it passes. Sometimes it might take 5 years or five times. And Kathy's bill came up very repeatedly in the next session. Yes.
Yeah, so Susie, I'm glad that you came on our show today, the Smith Sisters Show. And you have, I'm not closing this out yet, you have informed people, not only in Louisiana, you have informed people on the World Wide Web on how the process works. I had a friend of mine told me, a lady from Jordan, the country of Jordan, went on a Facebook and said, listen to the Smith Sisters show. They're very informative. If you have to hear it over and over again, just information like this. Yeah, always you can listen and learn something from shows that we are putting on. So don't just think because we live in Louisiana, oh, this is just about, no, it's not about Louisiana. We vote across the country. Am I right, Susie? And we can
We are
use,
citizens. Yes, we do.
and we,
You're definitely all right. And I have people in North Carolina listening,
See?
and I have people in the district listening. I've had people in foreign countries, Ireland, France,
that is
Israel,
true.
listening. Mexico, Vienna, it doesn't matter because as long as you got that World Wide Web, and when I spread it to all 5,000 of my friends in the Facebook. They all over the world.
Okay, well, I want you to emphasize that that more shows are going to be coming up.
We'll have you on again,
We'll
Susie.
have you on again, Susie.
Right.
I want to thank you so very much for taking out of your schedule to come on the Smith Sisters show. Everybody loves and knows Susie LaBrie.
Because she
Right,
is definitely
right on.
out there.
We love you too.
Oh, thank you, Susie. And we want to say hello to some of our friends who are listening, like Christine Robinson. We want to say hello to her.
Oh, yes.
Susie, listen,
Christine.
Christine is going to be listening.
But we're going to welcome we wish everyone would continue to listen to the Smith Sisters show. We come on Saturdays from 6:30 until 7 on 600 AM.
Okay, thank you. Please listen
Let
to.
me ask you, your show's recorded.
Yes,
Yes, we are, and we just want
we got to
we
end
got to
it now.
wrap it up. So, Susie, thank you
so
again.
much.
Each Saturday from 6:30 to 7 p.m. Thank you so much for listening to the Smith
Smith
Sisters
Sisters
Talk Show.